Hi all, welcome to Workato Masterclass series. Today we are going to discuss about validating the recipes using test cases. So before we move into our today's session, let's have a quick recap on what we have studied in the previous session. So we have discussed about how to handle null values. So we have talked about the ternary operator and as well as we have talked about safe navigation operators. Yes, if you have missed it, please go and check our previous video. I'll be providing this video link in the description box, as well as you can click I button at the right of our video. Let's jump into today's session. That is Workato test cases. So why test cases are very important, and as well as how can we do the best practices out of that. Okay. So there'll be I'll be covering this particular session with respect to how to use test cases, and also I'll be showing the with respect to our recipes as well, and as well as what are the best practices you have to follow with that. Okay, so let's begin it down. So test cases tab basically in Workato is a part of it's a part of a recipe life cycle management framework. Okay, it allows you to define and as well as manage and also execute the automation test. Like, so example, suppose you have already ran some few of the recipes, jobs. Okay, out of that, there is no record of you have to test it with your customer data or a stakeholders data. You can test it with a mock data, which is previously have tested it, that you can use as a data for your one for the steps. For example, you can use a trigger level of at a trigger level also you can use a mock data. At the actions level also you can use a mock data, which you have already used in the previous jobs. Okay. So now let's understand why use the test cases tab required, like why we use that, right? So first option is like we have to is catch integration uses, like which issues early. Second thing is ensures recipe changes do it will be not breaks the existing logic. In order to not to break the existing logic, we use it will be help us in that, right? Third is like it improves the confidence during your deployments or a promotion across environments. Why I'm saying this one's particular point is like, say, when you not thoroughly test it and you push that test cases or recipes into the higher level, higher environment, there may be a possibility that it may break, right? So that's why you have to think over it before you do the deployment, so that you'll be perfectly well tested those recipes before you move into those recipes into higher environments. Okay, that's the one thing. And last one is like enable the CI/CD style, like quality checks in automation pipelines, like the way we do in the CI/CD pipeline, also like similar, right? So we'll be doing the test cases, then we push into that maybe a CI/CD pipeline. We can use a Jenkins, any other particular pipeline process. Any issues, you go back and fix those and push it to again to the CI/CD pipeline, right? This is how you push that data into the higher environments before you make any kind of mistakes. You thoroughly test it, then again you push it, right? So do not be go to the production environment. If it's a test environment, well and fine, because you'll be doing again a quality assurance testing. Like quality assurance team will be doing the quality check of the code. Correct? That's how it will be. Basically, the test cases or unit test case is very important for the developers. Okay, so let's begin with our discussion on the recipe side. Then I'll show you what are the best practices you have to follow. Let's go there. Okay, so this is how the basically I have created a recipe for you to make a use of test cases, or can showcase the test cases. So basically, I have created a recipe that is like data extraction and inserting to database. Like means I'll be doing the extraction part from the drive or data, the file base. So it's a basically on the CSV data. So it will be file extension will be CSV. Then it will be a passed, a data will be passed using which are required informations. Then it will be inserted into a database. Okay, this is very simple, but effective for you to understand. Okay, so here you can check there is a I'm checking the folder is not true. It's like I don't want to check the folders again. I want directly files. Like I'm checking already giving the folders name. Out of that, you give me the files, not a folders. Okay, since I'm going with a new file or folders, right? So if I create a folders, it should not trigger. Correct? Okay. So this is the basically the use case. Now let me go back to the explain. You the first thing is about jobs. Okay. Now if you observe jobs, right? I have already tested in few times before, like at 8 a.m. I have already tested. So this test data will be always be available in the jobs that I can use during my no test cases as a mock data. Okay. Let me show you one of the data, like one of the test cases which I written and already ran that to to make you understand what exactly happens, right? So one more I have created to showcase after that. Okay. Let me show you the first thing is like which is the ran last animal which is got passed the test cases. So this top the test cases looks. Okay, let me show you that. Now if you have observed the first step, that is trigger. So I have mocked it, which is coming from the past jobs. So how to do that? So let me show you that. Edit the test cases right now. So now if you observe here, it shows mocked, right? So input is I have taken from, let me show the test config. So there's an option of, you can change it. Once again, let me show you that as well. So here it's not available. Let me check. Yeah, if you observe here, a trigger will already have mocked it. So I can do this, take select data from the other tab, right? So data or trigger is from the file, right? Or maybe like from the other applications. Since I'm doing the mock, I'm doing this mock test, mock the data with the using the previous recipe. Okay, just copy the mock trigger. So now if you observe, you can edit as well. This you can, if you want, I can edit. Okay, so now since it's the condition check, it's not required of any mocking it. So now if you see observe parts, either you can mock it or you can give an input as well. Either things. There's a record of giving input also, or you can give the mock data as well from the previous step. So this in this test case, I have did a mock step where I'm using the use test data as a step output. So throw an error, it's like if you will skip all the steps after this step to directly execute step in error check block. Okay. So basically what happens, you can check either positive scenarios or you can check the negative scenario as well. Okay. Now suppose I'm going with a positive scenarios, I was using this use sample data from the step output. You got it? So now here I'm doing is check, not instead of mock test, I'm doing say verify all checks and pass check if the step is visited. Correct? Okay, now when I run this test case, let's see what will happen. So carefully observe here. This shows that see the job report, right? So now you have to think where exactly it ran. It ran in the basically the in the recipe jobs tab itself. If you observe your jobs, it will run in the similar way we run the test cases or test regular testing or a start recipe, and then we able to get the data from the folders and will be process it the further steps. Likewise, you can also see the test cases while will do the similar steps as you want it. Okay, whether you, how you basically instruct that particular test cases to run, or whether you want to make it fail or make it success, it all depends on you how you write the test cases. Now I'll go to test cases again. Okay, now let's see, I'll go to the other test cases. So to make you show that what exactly happens when let me show you the what exactly I have written in this particular test cases. Okay, see, this is the remain say. But I also mocked it here as well. But what I'm doing is this, I'm passing the data, like new data. Okay. Let's see whether it will go and do the insert operation. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So test case is passed. let's see what will happen in my case of whether it's got inserted or not. Okay, let's see. I'll go to test job now. Okay, let's refresh this. There should be one more job should be happening. Right, correct. So it is there now. So let's see what will happen. It's now inserted. Correct. If you observe, it's got inserted the data. Now let's see what will happen. Let me see. Let me show you the database side. Okay. So if you observe my database, so till this, what is called fourth, it was there already because I have ran the test jobs, correct? So because of that, it was there. Now, if you observe, Raj Malhotra was a part of my data, correct? So let's see what has happened in my test cases. Okay, if you observe this, what are the input? Let's see. What is the input it went? So see, if you observe, Raj Manan and Kumar Sinha Jack, rows count is 2. So it should insert 2 values to my, right? See, if you observe Raj Manan and Kumar Sinha Jack, it's got inserted to the database. Got it? So this is how you can manipulate the data. You can play around the data so that you can observe the whether it throws an error or with be passed to that particular data. It helps you with that. Okay. Let's go back to about test cases now. So let's observe few things in this case. Okay. Now you can write the name to this particular test cases, and also you can give a description as well. So you can give a description what exactly this test case is all about and how, what exactly does it. So that when you're doing the when you do a unit test cases and when you run the reports, you'll be having a several test cases already ran through this particular data, and you observe in which all cases it's behaving correctly and in which all cases it's throwing an error. Correct. Then based on that, you can take actions or you can discuss with the stakeholders or with your team leads to understand the process, further process, but whether can we handle it better way, right? There's always option of doing better, right? That can be done. With that, I'll stop this particular of showing you the recipe side of that or showing the test cases. Okay. Hope you have understood what exactly this test cases is and how to use the test cases in the Workato and how can we use previous test jobs into to mock the data. Also, not to mock the data. Okay. But example, let me before end the session, let me show you as well the example. I want to throw this error. Okay, let's say if I have anything is there. Okay, let me edit this because I cannot change the data, correct? So I have to change this recipe itself. So let me do one thing. I cannot use the previous organization's data. So just giving you the okay. So let me send this particular things to my email. Okay, now saved it. Now exit it. Okay, now see, it's got changed, right? Now, so let what I'll do is I just throw an error. Okay, what I'll do, I'll throw an error. Mock to throw an error. So it should send me the error details. Let's see what will happen. What will happen to this particular things. Okay, I'll just run this. See, fail to verify check 1 on step 5. Correct. So now what will happen? I'll just check what will happen, but what does it is going to say that. So error throw. So hence it give me a results. So it says uh like error data like error while passing the CSV file. This is error was simulated by through error mock basically, right? So I would haven't received the mail, right? So that is one thing. So that is the how basically you can do the test cases to throw an error or to pass the test cases. It all depends on how you want to test it. Okay. With that, I'll stop showing you the recipe side of the weave. Then let's go back to the our presentation part. Okay. Welcome back again to my presentations. That is, let's understand what are best practices you have to follow for doing the test cases. So, write test cases before deploying to productions or a test environment. I'm including the as well as UAT. Okay, don't only think about productions. So here it says the productions, but I want to include one more point, that is test environment as well. That is UAT. So cover positive, negative, and edge cases scenario as well. Because say example, you cannot go with only positive and negative scenarios. You have to cover edge cases as well. There may be a possibility that your edge cases may give you a trouble during your execution in the productions or maybe test cases in a test environment. Okay. So keep the data basically anonymized, basically anonymized for testing. It's like no real customer data to be exposed, basically it says. Okay. So keep data anonymized for testing means you are not exposing the real customer data to the in doing your test cases. With that also, you can understand how well it is required for your doing the test cases. So you are not doing the any real customer data like to you are not waiting for that, right? So use lookup table for to inject test values dynamically. If you want anything to be, you already have a sample values, sample data that you can use as a you are to mock the data. Then you can use lookup table as well to pass the data. Version control, as I said, version control, like when you saw the tab, I shown you like what is name. You can give a description also. You can maintain the version control as well in that. So that's basically the idea behind test cases. So hope you have enjoyed this particular session and also you understood what basically the test cases is in Workato and how to use that, and also how basically uh, test cases play a vital role in your during your uh, deployments or doing the test cases or doing the actual your unit testing. Right, it's very important. So hope I guess it will help you out doing your test cases, doing your deployment as well. So this basically I want to cover it because to make you understand why test cases are important and use that particular test cases in your incorporate basically incorporate during your daily execution, during your executions or during your recipe building it. After building it, please try to use that. Don't directly keep asking for the data or a customer data, or don't wait for till the customer data comes to you on then you do the testing. Suppose you have a sample data, keep doing that particular test cases with the help of lookup table. Just mock the data. That basically gives you a motivations and also gives a confidence on doing the when you do the deployment to the next step. So with that note, I'll just tell you keep learning and keep giving your best during your recipe building or maybe test cases or doing deployments. And thank you and all the best, guys. Thank you.